Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. The topic today is very fascinating. It relates to UPSC GS Paper 3, Science, Technology, Near Earth Space. We are looking at a unique phenomena, a dangerous phenomena. Scientists are saying that the near Earth space is becoming increasingly dangerous. Today, because of the fear, because of the presence of a phenomena called MMOD. What do you mean by MMOD? MMOD stands for micrometeoroids and orbital debris. Debris means residue waste material. You might have heard about asteroids, comets and meteoroids. Today we are talking about tiny meteoroids. This new phenomena MMOD was highlighted when a small part of space debris, orbital debris, had impacted China's Shenzhou-20 space capsule. And the damage was so potential that it cracked the return capsule window. This shows that even the tiniest of micrometeoroids or tiniest particles of space debris can cause big danger to crewed missions from various countries. Today, India has special reasons to think about it because soon we are going to have the Gaganyaan, India's first human crewed space mission. We recently participated in Axiom 4 as well. Today, as we ensure safety protocols for our astronauts, the MMOD fear is real and it has caused a worry about how to then deal with all this floating debris and dangerous matter in the near Earth space. Now, as I proceed with this topic quickly, also a reminder to you about how recently when in Ethiopia, in the Afar region of Ethiopia, we had the shield volcano outburst called Volcano Haile Gabi. At that time as well, various airlines from different countries had issued warnings to aircrafts because the various countries' governments said that the smallest shards or the glass particles, the abrasive particles of the volcanic ash that was floating everywhere that time could have caused a scratch or clogging up of the cooling mechanisms of engines of various aeroplanes, and that's why the government had issued a strict warning. So you see, it's not just at a commercial level, but even in the near Earth space, a tiniest of particle can actually cause a major damage to spacecraft capsules, and that's what we are looking at. The big news came into highlight when the piece of debris, a small piece of debris, a micrometeoroid, a very tiny piece, got stuck in Chinese crewed vehicle called Shenzhou-20. But the damage was so potent that it created a minor crack in the window of the return capsule of the aircraft. And today, the whole world is therefore worried about the increasing fear of the MMOD phenomena. Now, talking about micrometeoroids, if they are so scary, what are they? Micrometeoroids are typically very, very small, very, very tiny sizes, particles that range from about few micrometers, that's a millionth of a meter. Imagine how small is that. And up to about 2 millimeters. So they are very, very small. Now, when I spoke to you about the danger that emanates from tiniest particles? If you can remember, the Hindu class that I have with you every morning. We were recently discussing about the air pollution problem in the northern Indian states, and we discussed how particulate matter 2.5, being very, very tiny, being very, very small, can cause a big danger to human health in the form of inhalation. It eventually becomes a part of the bloodstream, causing various kind of communicable and non-communicable diseases, right? So that's when we were talking about particle size and its relevance. Now here we are talking about micro, very, very tiny meteoroids. As I said, they are very small in size. They are about much lesser than sometimes even 1 meter, or they can go up to 2 millimeters. Very, very small. Now, looking at how most of them originate, according to various scientists, most of these tiny meteoroids originate from a collision, a clash between asteroids. And where is the asteroid belt? Very important for your geography. NCERT Basic. It is located in the asteroid belt that's between Mars and Jupiter. Do remember that, with small portion of them that's coming from comets as well. So it could be comets, it could be the asteroid belt, when various objects in the space collide with each other, they do create these tiny fragments called micrometeoroids, but they are quite fast when it comes to their speed or velocity. They are very, very fast because they travel at a very high speed, very high velocity. Sometimes about 11 to 72 kilometers per second. So imagine how quick they are. With this speed, naturally, they have a much higher impact if they attack or if they collide with a spacecraft. That's the danger. They are everywhere. They are found everywhere in the space, but due to Earth's gravity pull, and actually because of the presence of gravity pull near Earth, they are highly distributed. That is near our planet. Why? Because of the gravity pull, we often see that their distribution is slightly higher near the Earth itself. And that's why today, as I mentioned initially, near Earth space is becoming a very dangerous domain for various kind of space programs, for various kinds of spacecrafts. Now, looking at what is orbital debris. Remember, I spoke about MMOD. We just saw micrometeoroids. What is orbital debris? Looking at orbital debris, it is human-made object. And how does it come? It comes from abandoned, non-functional satellites. It's a leftover and a residue of that, okay? And usually it happens when various fragments, various parts, they collide with each other. They crash into each other. So it can happen due to non-functional satellites, rocket stages, colliding fragments, and they are also slightly, although they are very slow as compared to micrometeoroids. You just saw micrometeoroids, their speed is tremendous. Agreed that orbital debris is not that fast, but at the same time, it still can be dangerous. Its speed is usually either 10 kilometers per second or less, much safer than micrometeoroids, but then it is still a considerable speed. That means even if it collides with a spacecraft, it can tomorrow cause a severe damage too. And most of the debris is concentrated, unfortunately, in the low Earth orbit, that's LEO. LEO below 2000 kilometers altitude, below 2000 kilometers height. And we just spoke about the origin. Most of it is coming from exploded rocket stages, satellite. By mistake, any collision happens between two bodies, and ultimately they are done as something that is very, very unintentional. They can be created as a byproduct of collisions or any kind of anti-satellite weapon testing. But at the same time, since they are present in a great number, they can cause a danger. Now, why are they so dangerous? Say if we talk about commercial or various other spacecraft missions, they are dangerous because it creates low Earth congestion. We all understand that it is the low Earth orbit. That's 200 to 2000 kilometers. That is also the place, that is the main area which hosts majority of satellites and crewed missions from different countries. Now, unfortunately, this is also the same area where we see an increasing number of micrometeoroids and orbital debris too. Now, a very good data that points out to the danger is that scientists have found 34,000 objects that were less than 10 centimeters, whereas 128 million such fragments that are below 1 millimeter. But just look at the number, 128 million. That shows how congested lower Earth orbit is becoming because of the phenomena of MMOD. What a paradox. This is also the main area, the main region where we have a majority of satellite and crewed missions. Is that not a matter of safety therefore? Yes, it is. Now, a very important concept that comes here is known as Kessler syndrome. What do you mean by that? It means that there is always a chain reaction happening. It's like a vicious cycle that is happening right now. It's difficult to finish that cycle. And what's that cycle? That is due to a chain reaction that happens where more and more particles are congested in a small space. They are too densely located and therefore they keep colliding into each other. The more they collide into each other, the more debris is produced, the more residues are further produced, tiny, sharp residues, and it makes orbits unusable for many, many years altogether if they become so heavily congested by space debris. So what can we do to solve the problem? Yes, scientists across the world, space agencies are doing some kind of collaborative protection. One of it could be in the form of MMOD flux model, that is trying to judge and analyze the impact of MMOD on various spacecrafts. Second happens to be Whipple shield, as you can see in the picture here, that's called a Whipple shield. Now, a Whipple shield is a multi-layer shield that is trying to disperse or spread out debris energy. At the same time, we are doing our best to also provide collision avoidance exercises so that in the first place, collisions should not happen. If there is a debris that we know about, if we know its location, if we know its size, we can actually stay away from its path. That is something we can do as a preventive or a precautionary measure. Now, because India is looking at the Gaganyaan mission, today we have to be much more careful about that, although it will be a short mission, so the risk is not that high. But at the same time, we are still focusing on using shield mechanisms like the Whipple shield here as per international human rating norms. Now, I have done a detailed discussion on human rating standards in one of my Hindu lectures in November 2025. So keep following the morning Hindu paper class, because that gives us an update of everything that's in the news. And as we talk about the phenomena of MMOD, which we just saw, let's also remember that there is an organization known as UNCOPUOS. What does it stand for? It stands for United Nations Committee on Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. What's the objective? The objective is to promote international cooperation, to analyze and to keep reviewing space activities, to develop a space law that's beneficial for all the countries across the world, to manage issues like space debris. The biggest concern here, MMOD, to manage issues like traffic or congestion in the near Earth space, in the near Earth orbit. On that note, let's remember there is one more organization that's actually known as IADC. You should remember this for GS paper 2. What is the organization? It stands for Interagency Space Debris Coordination Committee. What's the purpose? It was founded long back in 1993, okay? Let's remember, created back in 1993. The purpose was to ensure that various space agencies across the world lay down a clear-cut technical standard to manage the problem of space debris in the first place, okay? So that's why it's in the news today, all these basic agencies. Do remember them for the exam, and let's wait. Let's see in future what kind of danger actually emerges from the concept of MMOD. Quickly, a practice question. With reference to the MMOD phenomena, always remember the name of that. That means micrometeoroids and orbital debris, the waste material. Look at these statements here. First one, micrometeoroids are natural particles that originate mainly from asteroid belt collision. We just looked at that belt. What's the official scientific name of that belt? You can let me know in the comment box. And they can damage spacecraft despite being very small in size because they are very fast. Their speed is very high. Second, orbital debris is completely man-made and is most densely concentrated in the low Earth orbit, which is also heavily used for crewed missions and satellite work. 3, these guidelines, the guidelines issued by the body that we just discussed, United Nations Committee on Peaceful Use of Outer Space on Space Debris Mitigation, are legally binding. I repeat, legally binding on all spacefaring nations. Which of these statements are valid? Interesting question. Do let me know the answer. And before I end the video, here's a quick reminder. If you are studying for UPSC 2027 and 2028, do not forget that not just are we offering you a heavily discounted price, but we are starting fresh batches for UPSC 27 and UPSC 2028 on 26th December. 26th December, okay? The interesting thing is that although batches are starting on 26th December, but we are also celebrating the biggest sale event of this year because of celebrating Christmas and the New Year occasion. And under the sale, the news is very good. We start the batch on 26th, but the sale offer is valid till 27th December. What do we offer? We are offering you flat 50% off on all the courses at StudyIQ. Too good to be true, right? All the courses of StudyIQ, flat 50% off. That means if you choose a course for 27, or if you are preparing for 28, you choose a course today and you book the course. Don't wait. If you book the course in advance, what benefit will you get? Today, if you book these courses, you will get complete prelims, books, material, guidance, GS paper 1 CSAT, revision timetable mentorship, mains, GS paper 1 to 4, answer writing, essay writing, basic interview guidance, PYQ, MCQ practice, time management and counseling. All that plus interaction with your favorite faculties at what price? At 50% off, that too flat 50 off. How can you enroll for the offer? Remember, this 50% off opportunity is ending on 27th December. You can enroll it by using code SPLIVE. Whether it's for 27 or 28, now please start on time if you really want a guarantee for UPSC success. And when it comes to you at a flat 50% off, I would think there is no better time to actually enroll. So don't wait until the last minute and don't get yourself anxious. Many students lose the chance because they have wasted the important time that they have. Remember, UPSC is not about reading books and gaining knowledge only. UPSC is about actively engaging with that knowledge and keeping your awareness level very, very high. And that comes when somebody professional is there to hands hold you. So join StudyIQ today. Flat 50% off, last day 27th, batch starting 26th for 2027 and 2028 UPSC. Do not forget code SPLIVE. Make me a part of your journey. Thank you so much.